Finally returned from Africa, and with Season 4 having just ended not too long ago, I thought it's about time I do something completely unrelated. Hello y'all. As I plan out my channel changes and improvements, I thought it would be nice to have several intermediary videos in between. One of which will include a rapid fire review / reflection of the episodes I've yet to cover from Season 4. But today, however, I thought I would launch my top list video series, starting with intelligence of the main 6. My motivation to start up with this top list subject came from several forum and chat arguments on who is smarter. I thought I would try to add my 2 bits perspective and also research into this debate. For the sake of argument, I will describe intelligence as the ability to apply knowledge and wisdom to solve problems.
It's Sagittarius the Centaur!
It's a horse, man?
I'm Sagittarius.
Yeah, but it's more like this. And that is not even close, dummy.
I'm putting a bigger focus on the wisdom or processing side of this equation, however, so having freakish photographic memory does not really equate to intelligence if you're not able to apply that well of knowledge reliably into logical solutions. This is in no way flame shield for future ranking choices. With this in mind, let's begin. Twilight Sparkle. Yeah, if you did not see this placement coming, then your mind is not applying your well of knowledge reliably into a logical solution. I mean, come on, it's Twilight Sparkle, the bookworm of the group.
The square root of 546 is 23.366642891009.
She is correct.
She has read and comprehended thousands of books and applies this massive well of knowledge routinely to come up with solutions to various problems, from interpersonal issues to doomsday ones. She is more or less the definition of an intelligent character. Add to this a variety of skills she is able to perform thanks to all this knowledge and research, and she's well-rounded in intellect. Her one main weakness in this knowledge was her social interaction, but moving to Ponyville in seasons 1 through 4 sort of changed this significantly. But yeah, when it comes to intellect, it's hard to beat the bookworm of the team.
I don't even know what to... There are no words.
Fluttershy. To get my biases out of the way, yes, I am a Fluttershy fan. If you have not figured this out by now, then please watch more of my videos. With that stated, I rank Flutters as number 2 pretty confidently for a variety of reasons, mostly tied to her variety of skills. First of all, her doctorate level knowledge of animal science in a variety of biological fields, including veterinary science, zoology, and taxonomy, amongst others.
Well, you see, it's the breeze that activates the Breezy's magic, and that magic protects the pollen they're carrying from being destroyed.
Not to mention, she is significantly more than simply bilingual, with the ability to speak hundreds of languages. And since this is not a school report, here's a quote directly on Wikipedia about multilinguals. Research indicates that a multilingual's brain is nimbler, quicker, better able to deal with ambiguities, resolve conflicts, and resist Alzheimer's disease. And as the Breezes demonstrated, this multilingual trait is not limited to just animals. Outside of her second to none animal knowledge, she has also demonstrated a freakish knowledge and skill set in sewing.
Used a back stitch here when it clearly called for a top stitch or maybe a traditional blanket stitch, and the over-design is reminiscent of pret-a-porter and not true French haute couture.
Knitting, music.
There's music in the treetops, and there's music in the vale, and all around me music fills the sky.
And agriculture.
And don't forget, now you'll get seeds that will grow into even bigger and better apple trees.
She has also demonstrated high social intelligence as well by being able to read Pony's emotional states with ease, likely a carryover trait from her animal skills. She is able to apply her social intelligence by manipulating others at several points. Remember, in putting her hoof down, she did not simply insult Rarity and Pinkie Pie, but specifically tailored her insults around their self-doubt and was able to reduce them in tears within seconds.
When they are throwing their own lives away on pointless pursuits that no pony else gives a flying feather about!
That takes a lot of skill. And remember in Bats, when she was defending the Bats, how her 2 big arguments were about apple yields and family. Gee, it's not like those are defining interests of a certain pony. And who can ever forget her masterful manipulation of the King of Manipulation himself?
Well played, Fluttershy. Well played.
So yeah, I rank Flutters as number 2 for her variety of fields she has mastery in, and her high maturity as demonstrated by Flutters being one of the few main 6 to live on their own seemingly for a while. It is a pity that her introverted nature prevents said intelligence from being shown off often. AJ and Rarity. But top list is not complete without a draw, and this draw is between our two field geniuses. What I mean is Rarity and AJ are both masters of their field of interest, farming and fashion respectively. I know many scoff at the idea of farm life being hard work mentally, but it takes a lot of intelligence to profitably raise effective yields. From maintaining proper pH levels in the soil to the business of selling your produce in the end. In the latter, AJ has also demonstrated a business savvy side.
If I had an apple stand set up, ponies would be chawing our taste of it until the cows came home. Do you have any idea how much business I could drum up for Sweet Apple Acres?
Rarity, on the other hand, or Hoof as it were, is a fashion protege who has to research and learn hundreds of proper aesthetic choices that meets the needs of her variety of clientele. And most of this is seemingly self-taught in a not very fashion-dominant location of Ponyville.
You're from Ponyville?
She has also been shown to be very mature in terms of emotional development, given the fact that she runs her own personal business and lives alone.
Most of the time.
However, I place these two in the middle of the road on my list because while they are masters of their field, they have not demonstrated as much skill variety as Twilight or Flutters outside of their field of specialty. AJ, for instance, is frequently the fish out of water when pulled off her family farm.
How come y'all aren't doing any gardening? This is a garden party, isn't it?
She has also demonstrated frequent blind spots in her social intelligence by not picking up on so obvious social cues to the point of creating problems. Amongst my already noted in past videos, inability to seemingly lead the team as the B team leader. Rarity also mirrors this lack of perfect social intelligence when placed outside of her environment as well.
I'm so fashion forward. I wear drooping drawers.
This is demonstrated by her not picking up on obvious social cues like Suri tricking her back in Rarity Takes Manhattan, or her repeatedly shown weakness in designing functional items.
This is awful!
Awful?
Completely unusable.
So that is why I put our two field geniuses at the middle of our list. Pinkie Pie. Yeah, remember my comments about photographic memory? Time to put up my flame show from the rabid Pinkie fans. Look, I know the arguments are going to be tossed my way. Yes, she has a freaky photographic memory filled with almost endless amounts of random facts.
And Miss Matilda, happy birthday to you! In 132 days!
However, keeping the PC comparison up, a great hard drive does not equate to a great processor. Pinkie routinely misreads situations to disastrous repercussions.
Oh, silly me! I must have put the confetti in the oven and the cake in the confetti cannons!
It is not logical to go from some pony took a bite of a cake to an elderly donkey is now a ninja. This, while entertaining and comical, is the definition of poor processing of information, aka dumb ideas. I could read a long list of examples of poorly planned decisions, like creating a hazardous obstacle course to get her friends closer to her sister, to whatever the heck her plan was in Dragonshy. I'm seriously still trying to figure that out.
And you want us to shoot you out of a cannon towards a hornet's nest and give Spike a butterfly nest so we can catch you mere seconds before we hit the nest and are stung by 1,000 angry hornets! I'll wear this mustache.
No.
Add to this the generally accepted theory that Pinkie Pie is the youngest of the main six, at least in terms of maturity, that is reinforced by the very ponies she lives with. With all that said, Pinkie Pie lives in her own world, which is the root of the problem. When Pinkie's world aligns with Equestria, then Pinkie gets bursts of genius. These bursts help Pinkie become the best out-of-the-box thinker of the group, and said box is often a fourth wall as well.
Totally reminds me of a guy you met in the other world who played guitar and was in a band and helped prove he didn't destroy all the decorations for a big dance, so you can still run for princess with a big dance and then ask you to dance at that dance? Right?
How did you know that?
Just a hunch.
So while often irrational, Pinkie Pie still works under her own logic. It is by far not dumb.
Ooh, something floaty! La 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 la!
Most of the time.
Rainbow Dash. Well, testing 123 did a wonderful job showing that Rainbow Dash is by far not dumb, and has also displayed her own brand of photographic memory. She is most certainly the least intelligent of the main six. Her competitive attitude frequently leads to short-sighted decisions like selling Fluttershy into indentured servitude. Dashy's brashiness also leads her too often than not misreading situations by going for the first obvious solution that too often than not is the incorrect one.
Ugh! How can I stop Nightmare Moon without the elements of harmony?
And just what are the elements of harmony?
And how did you know about Nightmare Moon, huh?
Are you a spy?
Whoa! Simmer down, Sally.
Or to put in other words, she will often attack and ask questions later.
Fine. Have it your own way.
Take that! You
Scarecrow.
Add to this a very disturbing disinterest in reading before daring do, and it's safe to say that Rainbow Dash is the least intelligent of the main six. But as testing 123 demonstrated, Rainbow Dash is by far not dumb. None of the main six are. Well, 7 is going to be my core list target number, so I guess I'll add one more to this list. Spike. So yeah, number 7 on my intelligence list for our leads in MLP is Spike, for he is a baby dragon after all. So that is my top list or ranking of the main 6 by intelligence plus Spike. However, this is just my opinion based on my definition of intelligence, and I expect there to be some variance with my opinion to yours. So I encourage you to leave your list and ranking in the comments below, or even better yet, in a response video to this one. So, till next time, keep calm and an open mind. So that happened while I was away. Well, if this leads to a brony or MLP nod in coming fairy tale chapters, you can expect to hear my fanboy squee, followed by a video response on the subject within several days after that point. Here's a hopin'.